All right, my man. Congratulations on making it to the semifinalist list of the NFL Hall of Fame. How did
Oh,
you?
thank you.
Absolutely, bro. How did you get the notification that you had even made it this far?
Bro, believe it or not, normally how I get the notifications, I get up in the morning, make me some coffee, and after I get my coffee and stuff, sit down, turn my TV on, and I noticed I started getting a bunch of notifications on my cell phone. And so first thing I go to Twitter, and I see people saying congratulations, this and that, blah, blah, blah. And so I seen it, and I said, well, I hadn't heard anything, and I ain't seen anything on like ESPN or nothing. So I say, let me, Google this and that, and I go to Google, and then I see the list, and then I actually made it, and then I kind of come up with a post to, thank everybody for, saying congratulations, and then, retweeting stuff, saying I deserve to be in there. So that's basically how I find out.
Wow, man. So 22, 23 years or so after your last game, your last season, you're inching that much closer to the ultimate pinnacle, which is the Hall of Fame. Is it shocking to you that so much time has passed by? I know you're a humble guy, but still, you did what you did on the football field. Is it shocking to you that 20 plus years have passed and you're still inching closer?
Yeah, I think the thing is, this is my first time making the semifinals, which is like refreshing, or it's an humbling experience. But it didn't seem like it was that long ago when I retired. You think back
Wow.
like, man, it's been over 20 years since I lined up and suited up and walked out on that field. But anytime you get that kind of recognition, you made the 25 semifinalists. That's an accomplishment within itself. And so, yeah, I was definitely excited. My family was happy for me and all that. So we all kind of basked into, the news that, you've actually started to make traction and started to gain ground to where you're advancing in the voting process.
Have you given any thought to your speech, who you want to induct you, or am I completely putting the cart before the horse?
Well, only thing I had thought about previously was, if I had went in, I had thought about Coach Shula was definitely one, but he's passed away. So I've definitely got, if I make it to that far or whatever, I definitely got to give some thought to that. But before that, no, I just have to. I said, let me make it first, and then I can worry about the speech and all that later. But that was the only guy I kind of thought about if I did make it in, Coach Shula, because I think that was just the only way to do it at that time.
Definitely. Are you remaining calm, optimistic, or is your anxiety through the roof through this process?
No, like I said, I'm not. I'm not. I'm not anxiety, stressing out, because I think for me, the first thing to make it this far is say, okay, you gain momentum. People are starting to go back and look and say, okay, now I kind of remember this guy's career. How he played, the guys he played against, played at a high level, this and that, and so I think it'll take care of itself. I think when you start stressing and anxiety, that's when you're not gonna get no sleep. You're gonna be like, man, what's gonna happen next? This and that, which I know what's gonna happen next. I just gotta wait and see if you make that plateau, and then you move to the next one. So I think the next is they cut it down to 15 finalists, and then from there they'll select the actual class for 2025. So I'm just trying to remain calm and just keep approaching it the same way I always have been.
One thing I love the Hall of Fame is doing these days. We get to see the knock on the door. We get to see the instant reaction of these guys who are being inducted. Is that something that you've even visualized, getting that knock on the door and somebody, whether it be Tony Dungy or whoever I don't know if it's a committee person they send, but to have that person in front of you telling you made it, is that something you've thought about?
I think about it when it happens, and I guess I think about if it happens to me, how would you react? And I think guys react totally different than what they actually expect themselves to act, because I think when you actually get that knock on the door and you see, it's almost like you got to pinch yourself because you're real, and they're saying welcome to the NFL Hall of Fame, and you've accomplished something that so many people not only want to play pro football, but you're in the elite of the elite, and so it's a special deal. And I think that's when it kind of gets where you can't control your emotions. And I've seen it happen with several guys. So I'm like, you think you can handle it, but I think it's just you really kind of it takes your breath away. So
it's overwhelming. It's overwhelming for
definitely.
sure. Mm-hmm. You were able to announce the second round pick of the 2024 draft for the Dolphins. What has that been like, just to be included in things with the Miami Dolphins again and starting to be back around the organization? What has those times been like for you?
It's always good because, like I said, I got to interact with the fans. We got to see Detroit, and that's where the draft was. And the NFL does an amazing experience with how they put this production together. It's almost like the Emmys or the Oscars or something like that. Mm-hmm. And then to go out and be able to take that card out there and announce a pick for the Dolphins. I mean, I love it. I've had an opportunity to do it twice in like the last 7 or 8 years, and I love it. Then you get to go down and interact with the fans that are Dolphin fans, this and that, and so I love it. Yeah, so we had a great time. Yeah.
Big Rich, what has football meant to you?
Well, as a kid, that was a dream of mine to grow up and play, professional football. And I grew up in Dallas. I was a huge Cowboys fan, but I think as you get older, it was a way to pay for college, because my parents had 4 kids. They couldn't afford to send everybody to college unless we had either academic or athletic scholarships. So, that took a burden off my family, but it also gave me an opportunity to play the game that I love playing, growing up as a kid, and then actually getting to make it to the next level. The NFL was an accomplishment with itself. So it's always been a childhood dream for me, and I enjoyed the process. I enjoyed the ride. I normally tell people, enjoy it because it actually goes quicker than you actually think. I mean, I had set a goal to say, I wanted to play 10 years, and I got to 10. I was like, man, it got here so quick. So the main thing I say is, work hard. Don't squander the opportunity because everybody don't get it. Make the most of it, and then enjoy the ride.
Most definitely, man. If you go back to A&M, whether it be the Dolphins, Bengals, do you have a most memorable teammate? And if so, who is it and why?
I think one of them will have to be Keith Sims. We were drafted 1-2s in the same draft. But, of course, getting drafted by the Dolphins, and then we were in a mini camp, and then you walk in the huddle, and you're actually in there with Dan Marino, Mark Duper, Mark Clayton, guys that you've been seeing on TV, when you're in college watching Monday Night Football, this and that. It's one of those surreal moments where you say, man, I'm actually this close to this guy. So I think that's the way I look at it. It's like, no, it's for real now. You clap and break the huddle, and it's like, I'm actually here. I hadn't made the team yet, but just being there was just, most people never get to experience anything like that. So I never took it for granted.
It's got to make you happy to see, because the offensive lineman position has always been probably one of the least prestigious, but one of the most important. And we're starting to see now how much offensive linemen and these tackles and guards and centers are appreciated. To see you, again, this a step closer to the Hall of Fame, to see the amount of prestige and importance put on the position, that's got to make you happy.
No question. And I'm not going to say it's easier, but sometimes it's harder for offensive linemen because we don't have the stats that you can look at. You look at defensive players, it's interceptions, tackles, sacks, receivers, yards after the catch, touchdowns, 1,000-yard receiving, running back, same thing. Quarterbacks, passing yards, win-loss records. So now you start, like you said, to see them pay more attention. So anytime one of the big boys make it in, I know that's another notch, in the belt. And you're always happy because now you're saying they're starting to pay attention to those guys that normally we don't get the fame and glory. And we understand that. We don't have any problem with it. But to be recognized, like you said, with those guys along as well, and get that gold jacket put on and get it invited into the group. That's truly special.
Well, Big Rich, man, I feel personally like it's long overdue, but I can't complain about the ball rolling in the right direction. Best of luck to you, man, and congratulations. You 100% deserve that gold jacket. Anything before I let you go, my man?
Man, I just appreciate all the love you share me, and I'm glad you reached out to me. We hadn't done the show in a while, and I always enjoy it. It's always a pleasure experience. So thank you for being the way that you are and having me on your show. I definitely appreciate it.
Without a doubt, man, and we're going to talk as soon as you get that gold jacket, brother.
Sounds good. You have a
Thank you,
good day.
man.
All right.